me what's going on for you and how can I help?
Um, so currently what I'm doing is I'm wrapping up my personal statement. I've kind of shifted my focus a little bit on which law, which discipline in law I decided to focus on. At first, it started out as business litigation and business law because that's kind of what my underground background was. But since then, I've realized that I've always kind of had a passion for environmental law. Kind of being pushed into the business aspect from an from an undergrad standpoint, I realized that there were certain outside influences that were kind of influencing my decision on particularly what discipline of law I wanted to study. So I guess what I would need some help in is just kind of really honing in my personal statement to display my desire to become an environmental lawyer. And it's a little bit difficult for me because, like I said, from having so many outside influences and like a general background in business, how to hone in and directly make myself more appealing as an applicant to an environmental law program. So any help on that would be greatly appreciated.
Gotcha. Sure. So what is the biggest or most impactful experience you've had that influenced your decision to pursue environmental law?
So growing up, I was kind of a trouble kid. I did have like a lot of family issues and stuff. But at the end of the day, like, who doesn't? I made some questionable.
Yeah, we're there.
So I made some pretty rash decisions as a young adult. I ended up getting into some legal trouble of my own, and eventually I found rock climbing with one of my mentors growing up, like in high school. And I remember the first time I went outside, that was probably one of the most impactful and profound things that have happened that kind of changed me completely 180. And not only like in that unique, one-time experience, it's like every single time I go outside and enjoy the environment, it's like it's the same thing over and over and over. And as I grow up, I'm starting to realize that, these are places that we need to protect. But I also understand, how as a resource they can be used as a commodity. But that boundary needs to be understood. And so just like climbing outside definitely something that's impacted my desire and ambition, not only protect the environment, but also stand up for the places that have made such an impact on my life and who I am today.
I love it. This is all great material. And so I would just keep asking yourself questions around this. And so I'll ask you one right now as an example, which would be like, what's the most difficult experience you encountered while rock climbing?
So besides the entire sport not being easy, there's been a couple of times where I have done a project route. And basically throughout that, you start to climb and for some reason it just doesn't line up that session. Maybe the weather's not good, maybe your mental game's not there, maybe physically you're incapable of doing it at that time. So there's actually a route in Austin, Texas. It's my project route. It's on a wall called the prototype wall, which eventually ended up falling and collapsing up the entire face. So that project has been the hardest thing I've ever had to work through. Because the first time I climbed it was one of the first times I've ever climbed outside. And I remember it being way out of my level. And I remember setting my sights on it and just trying it. And then I remember one time, one of my mentors that originally got me into climbing was Tim Rose. He ended up falling off of my project route, trying to show me the data. And he broke his right leg and fractured or punctured a lung with some broken ribs. So that kind of kind of irked me a little bit, and I didn't get on that wall for a while. And by the time I got my mental game back, and by the time Tim was ready to help me through that a little bit, the wall had already collapsed and it was no longer there. So I kind of lost my chance for that project out. That's probably one of the hardest things, to see my mentor try to show me how to climb this particular route, and then having my mentor, put himself in a pretty serious harm, and then to eventually realizing like I'm never going to get a chance to climb it again.
Sure. Wow. Yeah, that sounds like quite a story. And then I guess the last thing I would ask you is, what traits do you think relate to both rock climbing and law school in terms of what you've learned about yourself, how you've grown?
Okay. So besides the sheer determination that it takes you to rock climbing, I also see that's something that can directly transform or transpire into a degree in law. You have to find the things that you're passionate about, the things that you can defend, whether in court or whether when it comes to litigation and stuff like that, or even in legislation. It's a constant battle. In rock climbing, one of the things that we like to say is that we're adaptable. So we're able to see things from various perspectives and analyze how each one of those perspectives kind of play out in the long run, and which is the good step moving forward right here, and how that affects the playing ground or the wall moving forward. The perseverance, the determination and grit, and also being comfortable in uncomfortable positions. That's something that always looks good. When it comes to negotiations and stuff, it's being put in uncomfortable positions is something that rock climbing, I think, has taught me how to overcome my inner thought. Just kind of really hone in and be confident and firm in my decisions, but also flexible in my execution. Being able to adapt as certain things come at me from different areas. Yeah.
I love it. Well, I haven't told you anything right now. I mean, all I've done is ask you a couple of questions. You have a ton of material, a ton to share. You're very articulate and clearly passionate about this. I would say just write down everything we've been talking about today, everything that you've just said to me, write all of that down, and you have a good draft for your personal statement. It's a rough draft. You might have to rearrange things and modify, make edits, cut a bit, add more, revise multiple times, but you already have the material.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I would clarify at the outset is that the rock climbing is outdoors, though, because at least for those in major cities like myself, I'm in New York. When I hear rock climbing, I think a rock climbing gym indoors. And to me, that has no connection to the environment. So if you could just clarify that for those who are in major metropolitan areas, that would be helpful. But other than that, I think you have the makings of a great personal statement.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, that's great to hear. Yeah. It's a little difficult because everyone that I my family and the people that I tend to surround myself with haven't really, the people I hang out with that climb, they're okay with being climbers, for the rest of their life. As a first gen college student, this isn't something I can talk to about my family, or with my family about. So just knowing that, this can, what I've been doing, what I've been running in my head actually kind of makes sense moving forward. It's really, really reassuring to hear. Yeah, I genuinely appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah. So just like I said, write all of this down, what you've just been saying to me. Of course, I'm recording this for the YouTube channel. And so you could just re-listen to the video, rewatch the video, and write that all down too, because you've got it. You've got what you need.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
Great. But before we sign off, Adrian, what would you say is the biggest insight you got from our call today?
If you're genuinely passionate about it, you just have to make it work. This is, for me, while it's something that's been out of my realm for even understanding for pretty much my entire life. It's always something that I thought was too far out of my reach. But in this talk with you, I realized that just because it doesn't make a lot of sense, things do make sense. You just have to articulate it, and sometimes you have to say it out loud with people who are like-minded, and someone who understands the end goal, as well as the current trials and situations that you have to face before that. And again, yeah, thank you for that.
Awesome, my pleasure. Well, please keep in touch and let me know if you need anything as you move forward.
Yeah, thank you so much, Steve.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.